Hey guys, welcome to Photo. This is a Photopea. Going to go through the steps of making your template for your Elements project. Okay, it's going to be a little quick, but you got a video, you can rewind it, go back and check out what you missed. So we're doing new project. You can click right in the middle, or you can go up to File, New in this area. I'm going to name this Elements Template. I'm going to make sure that my pixels or px is set to inches because I asked for a 17 or 11 by 17 document. 300 dpi or ppi, they're the same thing. Hit create. Okay, now we have our rectangle here. Now what I'm going to do is bring up my rulers. Alright, they're not present right now, so I'm going to go to view and click on rulers. If your rulers do pop up looking like this, where it says like 200, 400, 600, you could right click on the rulers and go to inches, or you can go, if you're on an iPad, you can go to edit, preferences, and then you can change the ruler units to inches, and that'll change. Okay, now we're going to drag out some guides because we want 1-inch borders. So I'm putting my mouse on the ruler to the left, or you can use your finger if you're using an iPad, and I'm going to drag it out to 1 inch, or just as close as you can. It's going to keep bobbing back and forth. I got it right at 1 inch. Going to go over to 16 because that leaves an inch over here. Now I'm going to go up to the top and do the same thing. Click and hold, or use your finger and tap and hold. Go to 1 inch, and then I'm going to go down to 10. Alright, so now I have the basic shape that I'm going to have my picture in. So my picture will go in here, and then I have a nice 1-inch border going around my picture, which will look really nice. I'm going to take my rectangle tool, which is down here. You see that they give you several pre-made shapes. I'm going to grab rectangle, and I'm just going to drag out that rectangular shape in the middle. That's going to give me red. I think that's their default fill. Doesn't matter what color it is, guys. Any color will do. And now before I go any further with this, I want to save it because this is your template. Okay, the template can be used for all 5 pictures for the Elements project. So I'm going to go File, Save as PSD. We're not going to go to Export As. We're going to Save as PSD. Now I have my web browser to save my files to the desktop. So click over here, and then here's my file. Now because it's a PSD, it will retain these elements. I don't know why there's 2 of these, but I'm going to get rid of that. But it will retain the layers here. It won't smush them together. So now that I have this in place, I can now drop my image into it. So I'll keep this open. I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to open up my picture for this assignment, which I don't know where that is. Mr. Phelan. I'm just going to grab a picture from in here. Okay, we'll say that this is my line photo. I think that would be appropriate. So a couple ways to get this over to my other picture. If you're using a desktop computer or a laptop, you can just bring your image and hold your mouse up here to the other tab, the Elements Template tab, and see it just shows up there. The other way to do this would be to go here and go to Select All, that selects it all, and then go to Copy, and then go to the template and go to Paste, which will be Edit Paste. Okay. Either way, you're going to end up with it here, and you'll see I have the picture on the top, shape in the middle, background on the bottom. Now I just need to create clipping mask. So I'm going to click on the top layer. If you're on an iPad, you won't be able to right click, so you'll have to go to Layer, the Layer drop down, and you'll have to go to Clipping Mask right here. Alright, and that'll let it, that will make the picture go inside the shape. We'll see how that works in a second. If you're on a computer, you can right click and Clipping Mask option is there. Let's do the iPad way. We'll go to Layer, and we'll do Clipping Mask. That's going to bring it inside there. You can use your Move tool, which is at the top here, and I can move it around. If you want to make it larger or smaller, okay, because there's a lot of extra space around here. I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Scale. Now, if you're on a computer, this is really important when you're scaling images. It seems so simple. There's a bounding box around the whole image, right? This is how big the actual picture is. You see how far it stretches out from where I have it inside the template. It seems like you should just be able to drag this and, like, you know, make it smaller. But when you do that, it lets you like smush and stretch your picture, and you don't want that happening, okay? That's a definite something you don't want. So when you're in this scale dialog, we call it a dialog, with these bounding boxes, if you're using a computer, it's very important that you hold down the Shift key when you are dragging this smaller or bigger. See, that keeps the proportions in check so that you can't smush or stretch your picture. Now, if you are using an iPad, you won't have the ability to do this. I wish you had the ability to just, with your finger, you know, move it bigger or smaller, and maybe you even do, but I know you can't hold Shift while you're doing it. So here's the workaround with an iPad. Up here, it says width and height. Now I changed this already, so the width and the height from the original is now 94.89% width and 94.89% height. Okay, so I've made it smaller since the original. So if I wanted to make it even smaller than it is here, I would just adjust these percentages. And you can put the, I mean, this is trial and error here. I'm just going to do 85. But watch when I just do 85 on the one side. Okay, see how it smushed it up? I got to make sure and I go back to height and do 85 on that side too to make it even. All right, and see how it did make it smaller. I'm going to go in a little bit. I'm going to go 83, 83. Okay, and now I can use my move tool and you can drag it around. Photopea is a little slow sometimes, just give it some time. Alright, so I'm gonna hit that right there. This is gonna be my line picture. It's all done. Okay, this is how you export it. File, export as JPEG. Alright, you're handing in all JPEGs. It's gonna bring up this dialog. Gonna make sure the quality is set to 100, and you're gonna tap on save. That's gonna put it over here. Now I'm gonna right click and go to rename and call it line. And then if I'm going to come in and do my shape picture next, all I'll do is go to the background layer here and I can hit delete. If you're on an iPad, you would just drag it, tap, hold, drag to the trash, which is down here, and that will get rid of it. And now you're back to your original template. One more thing, if you want to rotate this because you have a vertical picture, you can go to Image, Transform, Rotate 90 degrees, and then that'll give you this. If you don't want to see these guides anymore, you can go to View and tap on Extras and they'll go away. Alright, that should wrap it up. Let me know if you guys have any questions.